Hello and welcome to a new video. My name is Marian Guevara and welcome all of you who have clicked on this video, who are returning or are just newly subscribed. Today I am going to be going through my third Barnes & Noble 50% off Criterion haul. So yeah, I didn't go ham this go around. I don't tend to go ham when it comes to these sales. I picked out 5 titles, which I think is the amount I picked last time and then the time before that. But anyway, yeah, I have 5 titles to show you, and some I've watched, some I've yet to watch, but I'm pretty excited having them in the collection. So the first title I've already watched. I watched it on YouTube, and it's available for you to view on YouTube, the whole entire thing. It's spy number 431, and that is The Thief of Bagdad from 1940. After I watched this, I wanted to get a copy for myself. This is a fantasy film, and I would consider it to be part of the fantastical Orient genre. This film in particular you can see the way it has influenced other films like Aladdin, Disney's Aladdin, and then The Thief and the Cobbler, especially in terms of the design, the aesthetic, and even some of the elements like the character archetypes. For instance, the villain here, played by the amazing Conrad Veidt, is named Jafar, who happens to be the king's vizier, and he happens to also know magic as well. So yeah, you can definitely, when you watch this film, you can definitely see a lot of the influences it had in other films similar to it. So for those who don't know, The Thief of Baghdad is basically about a king who was tricked by his evil vizier, and it's about him teaming up with this thief named Abu, and he's going to be reunited with his true love, which is this princess. Yeah, this is very much a pure fantasy film, and this one is very much enjoyable, at least for me. I think the standout aspect of this film is the design, especially of the world itself, the setting, the architecture, the costumes. Very sumptuous. There's a splendor to it, and for me, the standout performances were Abu, played by Sabu here, but then, of course, also Conrad Veidt as Jafar. He's just amazing. Not a lot of lines, I would say, but like the lines he does have, it's just very powerful, and I don't know, just the way he uses his eyes, because he used to be a silent film star. It's just great. And forgive me, but I do believe this is the only film with Conrad Veidt in it that's in the Criterion collection, which I think needs to change because we just need Conrad Veidt in the Criterion collection a lot more. I mean, Cabinet Dr. Caligari, The Man Who Laughs, I mean, come on. But anyway, yeah, The Thief of Baghdad. So glad to add this to the collection. The next film is Spy number 727, and that is The Innocents from 1961. Now, I found out about this because of another film called The Turning, which came out, I think, maybe like 2 or 3 years ago. It was considered not good by a lot of people. It's an adaptation of the Henry James novella, The Turn of the Screw, which I have read, and I didn't care for, and that's mainly due to Henry James's writing. I've read several things by Henry James, and I'm not a fan. His writing style, I just don't gel with. I read a review of one of his books. Someone described his sentences are like Russian nesting dolls, which I agree. Like his sentences, it's just like comma, comma, comma. Like the man refuses to use a period sometimes when he really needs to. His paragraphs can be just dense, at least for me. And I am no stranger to reading authors who like to elaborate. I've read Lovecraft, and that man likes to go on and on. But yeah, Henry James, his writing was just not for me. And The Turn of the Screw is a novella. It's short, and it felt tedious to read. So anyway, The Turning was an adaptation of that novella, and yeah, people said that it's not great. So I heard someone recommend The Innocents, which happens to be another adaptation of that same novella, and yeah, I think the general consensus that this was a better adaptation. This one follows a young woman who is hired as a governess to look after 2 children, and she believes that something nefarious is going on, and whether or not it's actually happening, if it's like supernatural or if it's like all in her head, it's kind of up in the air, or you're kind of left to determine which one. So yeah, The Innocents is considered, I think, to be a prime like gothic story, and I love gothic horror, gothic stories in general, and this is just like right up my alley. So I know I'm probably gonna prefer this over the novella, because like the novella to me was just like a 2.5, 2-star read. So I am looking forward to seeing what they do with this adaptation. Truman Capote co-wrote this, so it'll be very interesting to watch. Next is Spy Number 779, and that is Mulholland Drive by David Lynch. This is from 2001. I just recently watched Lost Highway by him, and oh my god, what a film. I feel like I'm still reeling from that viewing experience, but I adored it. I think David Lynch is a favorite director. It's because he's becoming a favorite director of mine, because I've enjoyed all that I've seen from him. I've seen The Elephant Man, Blue Velvet, now Lost Highway, but I really want to check out Mulholland Drive, because I feel that for the majority who have watched David Lynch, I think Mulholland Drive is a lot of people's favorites. It's most people's favorites. At least that's what I have come across. So all I know about this is that we're following a young woman, played by Naomi Watts, who kind of goes to Hollywood, I guess, to break in the business, and she comes across this other woman who has sort of amnesia. She can't recall who she is, and Naomi Watts is trying to help her, find out who she is, help her, ascertain her identity. So yeah, I know I'm going to be in for a wild ride, but yeah, I'm looking forward to Mulholland Drive. I really want to see which one I do prefer, this or Lost Highway. So yeah. Next is Spy Number 1126, and that is Double Indemnity from 1944. This is the Billy Wilder film. This is quintessential, noir, hard-boiled detective type of film. I've never really watched like a hard-boiled noir film until Double Indemnity. I've seen plenty of like parodies of it. When you're a kid and you watch on the TV, there might be episodes that kind of spoof, the concept of, noir, hard-boiled detective. But yeah, we're following Fred McMurray, who plays an insurance salesman, and he gets entangled with Barbara Stanwyck's character, and they sort of plot to get rid of her husband to get the insurance money. And yeah, this was a solid watch for me, and I think the standout aspect for Double Indemnity was Barbara Stanwyck's portrayal. Her character is one that, I don't know, throughout the film, like I couldn't properly fully understand her. Like I couldn't peg her down fully, and I think that was like the whole point. She's that femme fatale, but I think Stanwyck does a good job of giving that air of sinister mystery to her. Yeah, I think, yeah, like I said, this was a solid film. Billy Wilder knows how to structure a narrative, structure a plot. It was very interesting to see how the plots were unfolding, seeing how this plan was being laid out. Great film. People recommend Double Indemnity a lot, and I would recommend it as well. So yeah, you can't go wrong with Billy Wilder. Next is Spy Number 1182, and that is The Servant. This is from 1963, and I wasn't expecting to pick this one up when I went to Barnes & Noble, but I read the back and I was really intrigued, and not to mention that it has Dirk Bogarde in it. Now, I have seen one of his roles in Death in Venice. That was in 1971, and I know that character is quite different than the one he plays here, so I'm looking forward to seeing how he is in this film. Reading the back, I'm reminded about Bong Joon-ho's Parasite. Both of these films talk about social class, particularly the disintegration of like the barrier between social classes. we're following an affluent young gentleman who hires a manservant played by Dirk Bogarde, and this whole line between master and servant kind of disintegrates or gets turned over on its head. I think we will begin to see sort of like the servant, by Dirk Bogarde, manipulate his employer in a sense. I'm not entirely sure. I still have to watch it, but yeah, it's definitely going to be one that's psychological, no doubt. It says here that it's a tour de force of mounting psychosexual menace. That should be very interesting to see. I've had a couple of people, when I showed that I hauled this, say that this is a great film. So I am looking forward to getting to The Servant. This is my first Losi film, so looking forward to it. So here are all my films that I've hauled so far. Not a lot, but I am looking forward to getting to the rest of these. So yeah, leave down in the comments, what did you pick up from the Criterion sale? I'll be happy to hear what you have gotten. And I'm looking forward to the next one, because Freaks. I want to get Freaks, which is coming out in October. So yeah, anyway, thank you for watching. Thank you for sticking around. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!